Do you feel lucky? Now, I'm hedging my bets here that most of you know that snippet of a quote, and that clip is from the 1971 film Dirty Harry, starring Clint Eastwood. There might be a few younger members who are a little bit more confused. But we all know people who seem lucky. They win amazing clients. They get those promotions. They land dream jobs. Life just seems easy for them. They seem lucky. But actually, there's no such thing as luck. What they're doing is taking advantage of a part of the brain that we all have, snappily called the reticular activating system. It's a bundle of nerves that when you focus on something, it creates a kind of filter around it, scanning the environment and sending back matches to your brain. A classic example of this in use is if any of you have ever looked for a new car. You probably did your research. You looked at brochures, went through all the car magazines, visited the showrooms, did a test drive or two, and you narrowed it down to a make and a model. And suddenly, everywhere you look, those Bentley Continentals are all over the place. This is the IoD, after all. It's as if you've become a hunter and your prey is in your sights, because that is precisely why that system evolved. It was to help our primitive ancestors be more successful at hunting, to survive better. The good news is that you can train your brain to use this system too. You can make 2019 your lucky year, and it is surprisingly easy to do so. Firstly, you need a focus. It needs to be clear, well-defined. You need to be able to visualize it in glorious technicolor. You can't have a vague intention, well, I'd like to be successful. Think about what that means to you. Drill it right down, perhaps break it down into steps, and go back to it regularly. Visualize it every single day. You need to be careful about the language that you use around it. I'd quite like to, maybe one day, it would be nice to, I wish. Your brain is just going to disregard those as things that actually don't really mean much to you. You're not really that bothered about it or focused on it. You might need to be prepared to make some bold decisions, perhaps even take a risk. And finally, if the plan doesn't quite go as you thought it would, learn from it. Perhaps you need to adjust that visualization, make it clearer, and move on. Because luck is really just a concept. What you're actually training your brain to do is to seek out situations that are stacked slightly in your favor. And when you do that, you start to create a lucky loop. Because the more success you feel, the more you're going to go and search for it. So we're going to start it right now. Does everybody know what a rectangle looks like? I want you all to just glance around the room and see how many rectangles you see. Now, they were there all along. They didn't just suddenly magically appear, but because you're now focused on them, they're popping out at you. And I'm really sorry, you're going to see rectangles the whole rest of this day. Okay. So, going back to my original quote and the full version of it. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?